Hey, 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 it's Friday. Come on now, it's Friday. It's Friday. So excited. So excited. So excited. It is Friday. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. If you are just joining me, welcome. This is Janet's Pick. Welcome, everyone. Hello. Hi there. My name is Janet Esocha, and if you're just joining me for the first time ever, this is Janet's Pick, and I have been hosting this series of interviews, speaking to fantabulous, amazing women. It's just been an honor for me, a big privilege for me to connect with really amazing women that have been doing really amazing things and are willing to share their journey with us so that we can learn from and glean from the lessons that they've learned along the way. And if you were with me last week, I had a part one interview with this amazing woman, Nogie.
Hi.
Nogie Udevbulu. Hello, welcome again.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for joining me
Thank you for having
in all
me.
your business. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is my part two interview for those of you that may have joined last week. If you missed it, you're still in the right place. Just catch the replay, okay? Catch the playback after today's discussion. Please go ahead, nod your friends, your girlfriends, your aunties, your mother. Let them know that I'm on. Hop on. Let's get this party started. Okay, so Negi, let me introduce you. You are a multi-passionate, I always pause on that, multi-passionate woman who loves encouraging and coaching women to live their best life and fulfill their purpose. You are a managing director and the global head of market strategy at Bank of America Data and Innovation Group. And you are also the founder and lead coach at NUU Coaching LLC, a coaching company focused on helping professional women improve and maximize their career experiences. Nogi is a wife and mother of two beautiful kids. How do you do it? I'm going to start from there. I have to start from there. That's one question I missed last week. I have to know, you look really calm, put together, right? How are you balancing everything? Work life, your life, multiplying money, as you say, a business coach, your ministry with women. How are you doing everything and being a fantastic mother and wife at the same time?
Hmm. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me back on your channel again. Hello, everyone. It's nice to meet you. Balance. I really don't like using that word. I use the word seasons because
Hmm.
there are aspects in our lives that needs to take the front seat while others take the back seat. So I would say um, I'm able to balance it because I recognize seasons. I have to recognize the grace of God in my life. There is grace, there is grace. I mean, you need grace
Thank God.
to do these things. And you mentioned work, you mentioned home, you mentioned running a business. I call them all talents, right? So it is a talent to be able to manage a home and to be a wife and a mother. It is a talent to be able to work in a financial services industry. It's also a talent to own a business and to uh, see beyond yourself to help other people like yourself, right? It's all talents. And when we look at the Bible, God gave talents. He gave 5 talents to one person, 2 talents, and then 1 talent. So I am blessed to have multiple talents. I'm also blessed to have his grace to tell me what season I'm in and what talent I should be focusing on in that season. So I like to give the example of when you're a new mom, you just had a baby, um, you're seeing you know, a little child that is barely a day old, that is heavily dependent on you. Is that the time I'm thinking about work? No. Is that the time I am thinking about business? No. That is the season to focus on this child, to get to a point where I can then entrust the care to someone else. So I also recognize that for me to do the things that I do, I am surrounded by people that are helping me. I'm not doing it all by myself. I have family members, I have people that I employ helping me, and recognizing that everyone helping me or everyone around me are adding value to my life for a certain season and for a purpose, right? So I can't, I cannot be the successful managing director on Wall Street if I don't have a very good nanny. you know, if I don't have a supportive, strong, special husband, if I don't have siblings and parents, like cheering me on, those things are so important. They're so, so, so important. If I don't have in-laws cheering me on, I mean, I have a community, and that gives me, it gives me what I need to just keep pressing forward, right? And I recognize the value that they are in my life and thank them for it. Same thing on the job. Um, when I'm on maternity, I am thankful that I have colleagues that can sit in for me. I am thankful for the senior management that recognizes my talent and can fight for me even when I'm not there. So it's just recognizing that it's not just about you, it's about everyone else around you playing their parts during those times and seasons, right? And that's how I see it. It is recognizing the season and what I need to be focusing on in that season that allows me to balance it all. And of course, God's grace. So yeah, that's how I answer it. I'm sorry it's long-winded, but it's true. You can't do it alone. Yes, you are great, you are awesome, but you are even greater when you are working with people. That's what people need to understand. That's what we all need to recognize. Just recognize the help around you. You are even greater when you have that help around you.
That's right. I've heard people say, you can do it all, but not all at the same time. And I think you've kind of articulated that in a better, fashion to explain it as seasons in life, recognizing the seasons, which is big. Lots of times we're not able to recognize those seasons. We get all mixed up. And I think that's where some of the frustration, we women experience, and being willing to get help in some of those seasons, recognizing when you need help, recognizing the value of the people that God has placed around us to assist us, admitting that and giving ourselves the permission to take advantage of that help. So I'm so glad that you mentioned that because, that's one thing that I've wondered about you, climbing the career ladder as you have and being a mom, your kids. How old is your oldest child?
Oh, it's going to be 6 next month. All I hear is birthday now and birthday cake.
Yeah, you better.
And then the younger one is 4.5. So yeah.
Yeah, so Edie, your children they're still babies. So
yeah.
certainly there's got to be some things that you're doing right in, to be able to mix all that you're doing right now. And of course, to be here with me this evening. So I want to take advantage of your career coaching expertise. Okay, we're going to
That's fine. Carry
drop
on. Let's see what questions you have for me this time around.
Okay.
I think I'm ready. I think.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, what would you say is your one of your topmost career advice, perhaps, for women in the workforce right now?
You have to be a student of your craft, meaning you're constantly learning. You're constantly learning. I think a lot of people, they think learning stops once you graduate from, uni or graduate school. No, you're constantly learning. This world doesn't wait for anyone. It's evolving. I mean, look at what's going on. AI, data, all that stuff. You have to stay in that mindset of being a student. And when I say be a student of your craft, even if you're an expert, there's always room to grow. There's always a reason to learn something, or a reason to learn something that can complement what you're doing. So stay in that awareness of learning. It is in that awareness of learning that you build confidence to actually reach out to people and talk to people so you can learn from them, right? So I would say one of the biggest things is be a student of your craft. Like consistently work on improving yourself and improving the work and your environment around you. That's key. That's how you start. That's how you keep rising, because you're always hungry for knowledge. And corporations, no matter how big or small, they have an insatiable demand for talent. There is always work to be done. And the way that work gets done is your willingness to learn. That's it.
So is a lack of hunger to learn and indication that I need something new, or I'm just being lazy?
I'm not in your mind. Like I don't know. I don't know.
That's a rhetorical question.
I really honestly don't know, right? Like, yeah, it's the only man knows himself. I can speak for myself. And if I have folks that come to me and say, hey, I want to learn about your business. I'm like, you do? They say yes. Okay, great. I send them links. Go read this. When you read it, come back to me, let me know. I'll tell you, 9 out of 10 don't come back. Because when you don't have anything threatening you to learn, right? And you still pick up a book to learn, sky is not even a limit for you. You're beyond that. I was listening to an interview with Stacey Abrams, and Stacey is this woman that went and buried herself in the library and just read about history. You see, at that point, nobody is twisting her arm to read history. She volunteered. It's the same thing. You want to get in on this crypto thing? Go read the white paper. What does crypto mean? Like, you have to just be hungry to learn. And when you get into the work environment, it is so easy to just stick with what you're told to do and make your money and move on. To have that zeal, you really have to. It's an act that can become a habit if you discipline yourself to do it consistently. Right? Just wanting to just learn and grow and learn and grow. And some people might get tired, and it's okay to take a break. But that hunger for learning has to be there. But no one can push you to do it. Only you can do it yourself. Only you must have that hunger. Said, what's inside of us humans, like what's inside of us, inside our spiritual, is unlimited. The question is, how deep do you want to go? It's unlimited. When I say it's unlimited, I haven't even scratched the surface. It's unlimited, the things we can do. After all, was it not a man that created electricity?
No.
Do you know what God has stored inside of us is so deep? They said fountain of life. Like, it's unlimited. Just, you will never be thirsty if you tap in here. Do you understand? There are multiple times I pick up the Bible when I start reading. In that desire of reading the Bible, I start desiring to read more books. It's unlimited. But we have to dig in here, and a lot of people just they don't want to. The answer to all the problems is here.
That's right. That's right. Stay hungry. That's what my spirit is screaming in,
Yeah.
in me. Stay hungry. Stay hungry for knowledge. Okay, so I don't know if you've answered the question, but hopefully from a different angle, what would you say is the biggest pitfall then for most people in as far as their careers? What's the one of the most common mistakes that you see or hear of happening?
Well, the unwillingness to grow. That's one. But I would say, okay, to wear my hat, especially for women and for minorities, is that the networking part.
Hmm.
I think people underestimate the value of networking. I'm not saying don't do your job. Do it and do it well because we're doing our job unto the Lord. But you also have to be like connecting with people, reaching out to them, getting to know who they are, getting to know what they're working on. If you know somebody that got promoted, reach out to them. Say, I want to grab coffee. Get to know who they are. Understand how they got promoted. Networking. Connect with your bosses or your boss's peers. Learn from them. How did they get to their position? Let them also know who you are as a person. You are Janet. You're a mom. You are an engineer. You love coding. You let them know who you are. Let them know that your job, but then let them also know you. Now, with women of color, we're so quick to put a guard on ourselves because we just assume, well, I'm a woman, I'm Black, so they probably don't want to have anything to do with me. And of course, we know media has really like made all of us look like we're always angry, which is not true. It is this one-on-one networking that people will get to know you. Oh, wow, she loves Beethoven. Oh my goodness, I didn't know that. Right? So I had a dental appointment today. New doctor, new dentist. So this guy was talking to me and he told me his name. He said, "Oh, my name is Hebrew." And I said, "Yes, Hebrew words have two meanings. What's the other meaning?" He gave me one meaning. I said, "What's the other meaning of your name?" And he answered, and then he looked at me and said, "How did you know?" I said, I read a lot of books. Yes, I have read quite a number of Jewish books. Do you see? But you see that connection. He was, and look at me, do I look Jewish? He was amazed. All of a sudden, they take a liking into, they want to know you and say, I want to know this. Was like, well, how does she know so much about my religion or about my culture to know that my name has two meanings? And then at the end of the visitation, I made fun of him and said, "You really are the second meaning of your name, not the first one you gave to me." And he said, laughing. But do you see, that's how you network. Like, that's how people really get to know you. Networking part is so necessary for success in your career that we tend to underestimate the value of it. Please, I didn't say it replaces doing the work. You will do the work and do it well. And you will network so people can know who you are as an individual, not as the demographics that the world likes to classify, but as the individual, as somebody who likes rock music. Like people just don't know who you are until they get to know you.
Hmm.
Networking is so critical. Those strategic projects that don't come often, but are helping for the growth of the corporation. If you're not networking with people, would they remember your name? If you haven't talked about the things that you like, and this project requires a certain skill set that you have, would they remember to call you? So networking is so critical. And I think as women, we take it for granted.
Why do you think so? Why do you think this is something that's so overlooked in our community of women?
I also, part of it has to do with our upbringing. Stay quiet, women are not supposed to be seen, da, 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 just do your work hard, and that's it. Work hard, yes, but also connect. See, God believes in connection. God requires that we pray. So why can't you interact with somebody else? Connect. Connect. It's networking. you're building your nets as you work.
That's right. Right. That's a good.
You're building your net so now your net is, so if you have a
Right.
problem, this person that I spoke to, I mean, you as you're doing the work, it's work. Let's not fool ourselves. It's work. Networking is work. See, there's work in it. But as you're doing that work, you're building a net so that when you need to connect to somebody, it is not a struggle. And you're building character, resilience. You're shaping up your story as you talk about yourself. You are now inclined to go and learn something that you never would have learned before because you've seen someone or you met someone that showed so much passion in it. You're like, okay, I need to go and understand what this thing is. Do you get? That's how it is.
So I'm just thinking we're in this period of the pandemic, still going through it. A lot of people have converted to virtual learning, um, working virtually as well. Not a lot of room for meeting people face to face. We're missing a lot of face to face interaction. That was already kind of eroding away with the onset of social media. But what do you think in this period? And we don't know how much longer it's going to last. And maybe it's here to stay, or not the pandemic, but the whole transition to more virtual communications. How do I network? Where do I start from? What would be your go-to circle or channels?
So I did a lot of this last year. We take for granted all the people we say hi, hello to as we're walking to our cubicle or to our desk and back. And sometimes I'll just reflect and say, oh my God, I haven't seen them, I haven't seen this one. So what do? Send them an email. Hey, and usually the subject is checking in. I was just daydreaming today, and I remember our talks along the lobby. How are you doing? You see, the thing about the pandemic is, yes, we're all working from home, we're all working remotely, but we are also isolated, and human beings by nature do not like to be isolated. How do they punish people in prison? It's isolation, right? They don't like to be isolated. So then you just connect with that one person you haven't been able to connect with, that isn't within your constant group, that you would run into while having lunch, or you would walk down and get coffee. Those are the people you reach out to and say, hey, checking in. Because this pandemic affects people differently. Imagine if you're single, you don't have your family next close to you, you don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend, you are by yourself. It affected a lot of them. There was now concern that depression was picking up, was ramping up. Or you are married and you've been having issues with your spouse. You feel like you're in prison. Like, people are going through a lot of pain. And your willingness to just check in sometimes can be that relief. So yes, check in with email. After all, we do it to ourselves. That person is just next to us, so we can walk over and talk to them, but we send email because we're in the .com era when there was no pandemic. So why is it now an issue? Schedule coffee, virtual coffee, and have your coffee with you as you are gisting with the person. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, Hey, what have you been doing? I had a conversation with a lady boss of mine. She said, how are you enjoying your leave? I said, I am. I said, since I can't travel physically, I am traveling with my mind. She said, wow, I love that line. So when I finally spoke to her, she's like, oh, I've used that line a couple of times since you said it. And then we started talking about the books we were reading, the TED Talks we've been watching. This woman is nothing like me. She's like tiny and small. I am big and tall. But yet, there are a lot of things we have in common. Do you understand? I said, well, I can't travel physically, so I'm traveling with my mind. And it's a beautiful thing to travel with your mind and learn something. You don't know how it's going to help in the future, right? Just connect, just
I,
checking in. You'll be amazed.
checking
I think I talked to more executives last year than I ever did when we could physically see each other. Because people don't remember to check in on the orgas. Hey, how are you doing? They are shocked. They will respond like in 10, 30 seconds. Yes, I'm fine. Do you want to grab coffee? Do you want to, like, because everyone just thinks they have the answer. They're also humans too. They want to see someone appreciate them. So when you're networking, come from an area of love. Come from an area of wanting to give, not just collecting. Okay, so
powerful, actually. Very powerful. Never heard anybody put networking that way, coming from an angle of giving instead of, a lot of time networking, we're thinking of
what can
soaking
I do?
and,
Yeah, you will collect. Look, you will
but
collect. There's
uh,
no one who gives that doesn't receive. You may not receive from that person, but you surely will receive at the right time. This is the principle of giving. God loves a cheerful, quick to do it giver. And because he loves you, he's unwilling to do without you. Unwilling. Do you understand? God is unwilling to do without a cheerful, quick to do it giver. Someone who thinks beyond themselves to think about caring for someone else. Why would God not take care of you? It's like a parent, right? Your neighbor's kid thought about your child and said, I thought about you. I made you like a pandemic care kit. How will you treat that neighbor's child going forward? Even if that child did it one time, you will remember every time. And every time you go shopping and there's candy, you always package candy for that. That's how God looks at us. Do you see? Do you just give. God has got you.
thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. I'm thinking of networking. My there's a paradigm shift in my heart about what networking really is about. Thank you. I think you've just spoken to someone else listening as well. If you're just joining us, this is Janet's Pick. I'm so honored to have you listening this evening. Today, I have a wonderful, amazing guest with me. Nogie is what I love to call her. Yes, she is a career coach, but also a finance expert. Um, and she's passionate about seeing women succeed. As far as finance advice, she says, go to your personal finance counselor. But thankfully she has some words of wisdom to share as far as career and other things that we're gleaning from this evening. So thanks so much for joining. Don't forget to subscribe. I have to always say that. Look, before you leave, if you're not yet subscribed, come on, hit that subscribe button and leave me a comment as well. I'd like to know how my interviews are impacting you. Send me some questions. I'm very happy to take some questions live on the air as I speak with Nogie this evening. Nogie, quick question for you.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have found themselves in careers that they either didn't really pick for themselves or they find out it's not the right fit. Um, and for many, mid-career, midlife, it seems like a drastic change to just say, I don't want to be a software engineer anymore. I want to go into the banking industry. I want to go into the finance industry. What's your best advice for someone wishing to make a change?
Well, change comes in various stages, and this is one of the programs that I have in my coaching company. It's called the Shift program. I do believe in little changes because in those little changes, you then get the big change, right? It's like maybe somebody wants to save, $2,000 for the year. What if they saved, well, we have 52 weeks in a year, right? You want to save $2,000 a year. If we divide that 2,000 by, let's just say 50 weeks. If we divide that 2,000 by 50 weeks, that gives us what? I
40.
don't know, 40. So you put $40 per week, you end up saving $2,080 by the end of the year. So that's the same way I use the shift program. A shift is a small change in direction or position, right? So you start by shifting, 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 shifting. And what we normally do, like you said, you feel like you're stuck and you want to do something else. The first step is to get my clients to reflect on their past work history, reflect on what they've done in the last 5 years, and reflect on the things they loved to do in the last 5 years and the things they dreaded doing in the last 5 years. And also reflect if there were other personal things going on, joyful things, painful things. Because sometimes as human beings, we take out what we cannot control on the job, which for the good chunk of it, we can control. So we have to understand what triggered that change. And you have to do a reflection. Now, based on that reflection, we take you to the next step, which is finding what your strengths are. Give you like a strength test, you do the test, and then we then ask you how much of those strengths you're using on your current job, right? To see if it is it really the job or is there something else, right? Then we really like put you on the test, like, okay, you sure you want to do this? How far are you willing to go? And honestly, 99% of the time, what gets you the shift is networking. Because what we find out is that our clients have not been networking. And then
Interesting.
I'm telling you, right? And we come up with a plan and then they go execute it. You'll be amazed. Even just going through that process, they start to see themselves differently. They start to talk differently. They are eloquent in what they say, how they put themselves together. And it's a journey that they own. They win it. They do it from start to finish. Nobody tells them. We just ask you questions. We ask you those questions that you should have answered a long time ago, but now you are accountable to us. Do you understand?
Right.
But that's the thing. What ends up happening is what helps with that shift is their networking. Because now they are motivated to go talk to people. They realize, oh yeah, I know somebody that is doing this. I'm like, okay, set up a call. Go out there and get what you want. And you come back with a testimony.
I think those questions are questions that everybody should be asking themselves. We should be asking ourselves every 2 years, every once
Every
in a
2 years,
while. That sort of evaluation, because we're constantly growing, our environment is changing, our
lives
interests.
are changing. I
Right.
remember when I started at Bank of America, I was a single girl, no boyfriend, nothing. And, now I'm married 10 years with 2 kids, managing director. Like I have evolved over the years, right? So when I joined, I was a junior mentor to summer analyst. And last year, I was on the advisory board for the summer internship. You grow.
Right.
You grow. And people see your interest and will always call your name because they know the kind of person you get.
Yes,
At the
that's
end of the day,
right.
that networking is what will help you with that shift. But first, before you jump ship, let's reflect. Let's understand what's really going on. Is it the job change? Is it an environment change? Is it money? Is it an increase in pay? Can you just go and ask for the increase rather than changing your job? There are many, many moving parts, and we have to be brutally honest with ourselves. about why we want the things that we want. Because you don't want to do something for the wrong reasons, all because you didn't take the time to dissect what's going on.
So how do I know whether it's time for a change, for that shift? How do I know whether it's just me, again, being lazy, not wanting to apply my mind, or it's really time for something different,
Okay,
something new? What are
I can give you some explicit things and then some implicit things. So some explicit things is if your expenses are above your income and the expenses are not discretionary expenses, but like life, I need this to carry on with life expenses. You need a new job. You need more money, right? Either the shift would be you asking for more. That's explicit. If the environment has been so bad, right? Like simple employment standards are not there. Do you love yourself as well as you love your neighbor? Time to shift. Those are explicit things. The implicit thing is when you can do the job in your sleep. The implicit one is when you are so depressed on a Sunday night. For the ones that work Monday to Friday, when you are so depressed on a Sunday night, something is wrong. Like something is wrong, seriously. And it's worth checking. So there are implicit aspects, there are explicit ones, and then there are the ones in between. And usually, even if you're neither here nor there, it never hurts to just do a checkup to remind you of your why. Why are you doing the things you're doing? Sometimes it could just be a gratitude challenge. What are you thankful for? And then all of a sudden that lukewarm, neither hot nor cold behavior will shift to either cold or warm, or I mean hot, right? So it varies. But explicitly, if your daily need to exist expenses are higher than your income, it's time to do something about it. Something, but
So how did you, it wasn't a shift for you because you're still working in the finance industry, but how did you launch your coaching business? What
well,
prompted you to do that, and how did you make that shift
it is a
to
shift. It's a shift. It's a shift. Don't get me wrong. A shift is a small change in position or direction. Do you understand? I made a shift. I made a shift to still be a senior executive in corporate America and own a business to help the community that I've been called to help. So it's a shift. If the shift is doing this and adding to it, that's a shift. Because I recognize that I want to reach more women. I'm already reaching women in the organization, but I want to reach more. And for me, that's really my calling. That's the assignment God has given to me. It doesn't mean He didn't give me talent to also succeed in corporate America. I love working in corporate. I love it. I like to dress up. I like to get into those board meetings. I love those. I love to just solve financial problems. Like, look, I can start hyperventilating with all the possibilities of what the financial system can be in the next 10, 15 years. It's a beautiful thing. It's dynamic, right? It might be boring to you right now but this is something I love. But I also want to see women succeed because we're not many in that industry. And we are by nature the best risk managers on earth. We can manage risk. We manage children and house.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
my usually I used to wonder how my mom did this when I was younger, where she's not even in the same room as us, but she will say something to us, right? Knowing exactly what we are doing in the room. And I used to wonder, like, how did mommy know? Do you understand? I do it to my kids now. Like, I know exactly. Don't, how did you know? Meanwhile, I was in a completely different room. We're wired that way. We are wired to anticipate risk and manage the risk before it gets out of hand. And one of the reasons why we see market crashes and that is because we don't have enough of these innate natured risk managers.
Come on.
Do you understand? So yeah, I'm on a mission. We need more. We need more women. And we need to recognize that yes, it is tough, but yet God has given us the grace to navigate it. Just don't fight it. Navigate.
I know last part one, we kind of touched a little bit on possible reasons why we don't see as many women in your industry as we ought to, right? I love the way you've articulated the role of women, particularly in the area of, finance and being able to anticipate risk, so naturally as we're wired. How have you navigated that industry as a woman, as an immigrant? How have you been able to reach the extent, and you're still growing? I know this is definitely not it for you, but how have you navigated it so far? Married, children, you pursued a postgraduate degree as well through all of that. And again, you're coaching. How have you navigated it?
I tell people money is not enough. You have to have a passion for what you're doing. Like money is not, money will frustrate you. If the only reason you're going into financial services is for money, I give you 2 years. You will quit, no matter how nice that money is. And if you stay longer, it will change who you are. You will just be mean and cold and wicked. Like you won't have a heart to love, right? Because they say the love for money is the root of evil. It's the love for money. Money itself is not evil. The love for money is the root of evil. So it's passion. I am passionate about it. I have always loved finance. I did finance and investments in undergrad. My MBA is in general management with a concentration in finance. So finance has always been something that I like and I value. And because I like it, I am willing to learn more about it. Do you see when I say you asked me this question at the beginning, like what's the topmost thing that any woman can do in a career? And I said, be a student of your craft. So I'm constantly learning. I'm learning about crypto, not because I want to invest in crypto. I may, but because I want to understand what role it would play in the financial systems in the future. What have they created? What problem are they solving? What else needs to be solved? And which organizations, which crypto organizations are already working on it? That's how I am learning about crypto. Very different from how others are learning about crypto. Do you see?
Right.
Because the financial system is quite dynamic, right? There are many arms to it. And we are also trying to increase wealth for folks like yourselves, working day and night, saving this money so that when they retire, they're not worrying about how they will pay their health bill or how they will pay their light bill. So there are many things going on in the system, and just understanding how it's evolving is so critical. So I'm a student of I'm constantly reading and learning. And when it comes to finances, there's human interaction in finances. Money, people, you see people's character with money. Money is an amplifier, right? If you are wicked when you had little, you will be wicked when you have more. If you are nice when you have little, you will be nice when you have more. If you are generous with little, you'll be. They say, he who is faithful in little is faithful in much. Money amplifies the character that you are. So there's just so much dynamic aspect to it that I never stop learning. I think that's the part that shocks a lot of people when they start talking and I say, oh, have you heard of it? I'm like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. I enjoy it. Nobody's putting a gun to my head to go and print out documents just so I can read it and understand it. It's the passion I have for it that drives me to learn that has opened up opportunities for me to grow.
Now, I know you can't give any specific advice.
Come again. You
I
have
hope you don't
come again.
reach out through the line and hit me on the head. But two questions for you. Do you have any books to recommend? I have to ask you, talk about learning and reading. Any books to recommend for, first of all, someone that is just a total novice, new in the finance area, wanting to, learn, what do I do with my money? What's the best place to start with investments? Or someone probably a little more experienced, or what you're learning of as far as crypto. Any books, top 2 or 3 books you can recommend right now that may be the first.
Why am I blanking out on this book? Hold on a second. It's this man. He wrote this book for women and investments. Let me see if I can find it on Amazon. Man, Amazon is eating a lot of my money, eh?
I pray you find that. Because I've been speaking with a lot of women that have most recently picked up an interest in investing. Perhaps their husbands have been interested.
No, actually, there's Smart Women Finish Rich by David Bach. Right?
Smart Women Finish Rich.
Yeah.
By who?
David Bach. So it's his last name Bach, David Bach. Right? And there's this lady, she's Nigerian, she's awesome. She has a website, Clever Girl Finance. She talks about getting rid of your debt and building wealth. Also, she has classes on her website. Absolutely amazing, right? She did not pay me. We don't even interact, but I send people to her website because of how practical she is in how she teaches you to cut down your debt and, and then start to build wealth. So Clever Girl Finance by Bola Shokumbi. Right? Wow. And then I like this book, The Richest Man in Babylon. It's a classic. The Richest Man in Babylon. It pretty much provides it's an old language type of book, but it talks in the basics of investments, in the basics of saving, like simple 1, 2, 3 savings. The Richest Man in Babylon. That's another great book. Look, there are many books I've read. There are many articles I've read. There are many websites I've gone to. But see, when you seek, you shall find. If you are really interested in changing your financial life, there are many, 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 many information out there to help you.
Thank you. Thank you for those books that you recommended and that resource, the online resource. Thank you so much. I think a lot of people are echoing my thanks right now. I do have another question that came online, and you may have already answered it, but the question is, this person would like to know your thoughts on the best way to build wealth in the most generic way possible. I know, again, you're not a personal finance counselor. What would you say is the best way?
I'm going to ask you a question. The person that asked, okay. What's your purpose for the wealth? Why do you want to build wealth? If you can answer that question, then it would guide you to where to start, right? Everybody wants money for different reasons. I want to build wealth to create a generation of wealth generators, and it starts with me. I want to build wealth because there are many organizations that are helping women that I want to give to. My own is to give. I have dreams of giving millions of dollars to organizations. So I am eager to build that wealth. I'm eager to learn what I need to learn to multiply my wealth, right? When you have a purpose for your savings, it motivates you to go and seek the knowledge that you need for that purpose. Right. So when someone says what's a practical way of building wealth, starts with your knowledge, Starts with your why. Why do you want the wealth? And once you have that, then start with books. That's how I started with books. It's books that taught me about, 10% tithes, this books I read, right? Start by reading. Start by investing in yourself. The Bible says, seek wisdom, seek knowledge, and with all that getting, get understanding. All that getting, all that you have, go and get the understanding that you need to then pursue that wealth or have the wealth come to you. There are ways. There are ways. And it's different for everybody. We have business tycoons that are wealthy because of their technology, because they saw a need and harnessed that need. And like Jeff Bezos, right? He saw a need in a time of technology that, you know what, we can become the online Walmart. And now he's bigger than a Walmart. Do you get? Walmart saw a need to say, you know what, if we mass order from factories, we can actually charge at a much lower price. Costco saw a need, saying there are big families. If they become club members, they can buy things in bulk. These are all needs, and that's what made them wealthy. And other people became wealthy because they saw their vision and invested in the vision. Right? So everyone's avenue for wealth is different. And it's by knowing your why. Why do you want to be wealthy? Why? It's okay to say you want to be wealthy so you don't have to work again. That's no problem. But you have to put in the work so that ends, so that aspect of 9 to 5 ends for you. I hope that.
I hope it did. I think it did. I think it did. I think it did. I'm so amazed. Every time I speak with you, I'm always amazed and a little dismayed how quick the time flies. Oh my goodness.
God. The time has gone.
Amazing. So tell me, when you're not Nogie in that power suit.
Which power suit? See what I'm wearing.
on the advisory board on that executive office. We're not chasing those little kids or catering to your husband. What is it that you do? What do you love doing in your leisure?
Oh man, I can read. My husband. My husband just. I was just in my little sanctuary, my office, my home office, and I'm either watching a video or learning something, or I am reading a book, or I'm listening to a book. I can enjoy myself in my own like space. If I'm not doing that, I am, praying, listening to worship music, or I am working out. I'm on this job. It's just the same way. My why of losing weight is so that I can have energy to do things with my kids. So I had to find my why. So yes, that has motivated me to like work out. But more importantly, I love to just learn. I love learning. I can bury myself in stationery stores, Staples. If I know there's a Staples around me, I'll go there quite often and buy more pens, as if I don't have enough pens at home. I love to journal. I have multiple journals and journals for different things, or I am just brooding on what I would say on my podcast next, which I'm in that process of brooding right now, because again, I don't say much on the podcast, but at least let it be something that resonates with a lot of us. So that's what I do. I like to read. I'm not very good with social media. It's not in my blood, but I'm trying. I really am. But yeah.
Wow. Okay. And another fun question for you before we round up. What's a go-to business attire to work?
Why are you asking me this question? my business attire is a uniform. I don't like to think with what I'm wearing. So typically I would wear a dress and I'll put on a blazer. So I have quite a lot of blazers, and given my body shape, it's either an A-line dress or a what do they call it, sheath dress, just like
Mhm.
straight down, and wear a blazer. So that's my uniform. You can't go wrong with that. Once you have a blazer on, you look dressy. And then the days that I'm going to a client meeting, I'll put on pearls. Again,
Hmm.
these things are just standard in my handbag, so that when I need it, quick, I'm done. But my uniform, dress and a blazer, dress and a blazer. And I love nice bags and comfortable shoes because I have a big feet and I
I was
really
gonna
do
say
like
heels or no heels.
heels or no heels. Some heels, some heels. I can't do flats because I have a flat feet, so it ends up affecting my lower back. So I have to have some heels. I will not be doing the 6 inches, and it's only on occasions I will wear 4 or 5, but mostly 2, 3 is okay. But I can't do flats just because for health reasons. I rather, but some heels. I mean, I'm wearing a dress. I might as well just look good in a dress.
Right, right. You know. No, yeah, I love you. I
I love
appreciate
you too.
you.
You're so cute. You've made it. Look, I didn't even know that time had gone that far. Wow, it's 7 o'clock. I had fun. I had fun doing this. So thank you for having me here 2 times on your lovely channel. I will be watching it quite often. And thanks to
Yay.
everyone who tuned in. God bless you. God increase you. God give you opportunities to grow in your endeavors. If it's a business you want to start, may God give you the grace, the resources to start. But more importantly, the courage that He's with you. If it's a promotion is yours in the mighty name of Jesus. If it's just a career transition, it is yours. Opportunities are coming your way. Thank you for gracing me with your presence tonight in Jesus' mighty name, Lord. We thank you.
Amen. Amen. And all that right back at you in the
Amen.
name of Jesus. You've been such a blessing to me, a blessing to my listeners. I mean, goodness, this part two, I'm ready to
No
get
part three,
reach.
no part three.
No, like, don't you dare slip in a part three. Look, later. We'll talk
Later.
later. But I appreciate this so much. It means so much to me. How can people get you? People that need career coaching, what's the best way to reach you, Nogie?
I have a website. It's nuucoaching.com. nuucoaching.com. It's literally my initials, right? So I call it new coaching. So nuucoaching.com. You can reach out to me there. I'm all about authenticity. I don't believe in people taking on jobs that doesn't allow them to be their best self or bring their best self forward, right? So you can reach me on my website, and you can also reach me by email, nuucoaching@gmail.com. So that's pretty much it.
I suspect a few folks, one of the few folks will be contacting you right away on that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
God bless you. God bless you. Uh, those of you watching this live, I mean, thank you so much. Thank you for making me part of your Friday evening. I pray that you have learned one or two things that you can actually go and run with. We are determined to be doers this year and not just here. And so you've heard a lot. Let's put this into practice. Let's see how our careers, our businesses, our families will transform this year. Okay. I know you're with me. Don't forget, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. Leave me a comment, maybe a like if you really love today's session. Share this link as well, the link for today's session, to folks that you know, men, women. You just never know. This might be the word that they've been looking for to give them some direction and purpose for the year that we've already started. So God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Love you all. Watch out for my next interview in 2 weeks' time, okay? I love you.